Stazima back again with another Halo commentary. So much going on, so much to talk about. All this new info came out. It's ridiculous. It is real. I'm sorry for making that video once again saying that it was fake. At the time, it did seem fake to me, but within a few hours, it became undeniably real. So I apologize once again. So I hope you'll forgive me for that. But originally I did fall into this kind of doom and gloom state. I was kind of like, why is this happening? I don't want this. I don't like this. But after some reflection, I really realized that the Halo series is aging, and you really have to think kind of positively about Halo 4. I mean, if you want to play Halo Reach, if you want to play Halo 3, you can go back and play those. But Halo 4 is going to be completely different, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can get to knowing about this awesome gaming. But I just want you guys to remain positive. Just don't get all doom and gloom. Don't go all hating 343 just yet. Wait until you play it. I'm still positive about the game. I still think that it can turn out pretty good. The Halo 4 title is a little misleading because of the fact that you might think, because it's a direct sequel to Halo 3, that it will be play the same way. But that's a little misleading because obviously it's going to play completely different from any of the previous Halo games. It really should be called Halo something completely different because that's exactly what it is. So I'm going to go down this list of changes right here. Just give some reflections, give some analysis, and what this future of the Halo series may hold. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Spartan points and also the join in progress system because they kind of go hand in hand. You'll see in a minute. Now, Spartan points, I think, are going to be separate from the credit/EXP point system. Basically, the way I think it's going to go is every time you go up a level from private to corporal to sergeant, I think I messed that order up, you're going to get one or so Spartan points, which you can spend on whatever your heart desires. And then you're also going to have the separate credits, which you can buy to use to buy the armor looks and the different kinds of permutations on the armor and stuff like that. And that's where you'll gain your ranks from. But every time you gain a rank, you will get a Spartan point. I'm not sure. That's just the way I think it looks like it'll work out. Supporting this idea of a credit system is the join in progress feature, because when you're dropping in and out of matches continuously to keep track of the EXP and not single Spartan points, you're going to need to have a solid EXP/commendation system like we've seen in Halo Reach. Also, because of this drop in, drop out system, I don't think that we're going to be seeing a skill system of any kind in Halo 4. Look at the other games with drop out, drop in systems. Look at Call of Duty, look at Battlefield, look at Crysis. Do these games have any kind of skill system? No. Because it's just simply too hard to keep track of skill when you're dropping in, dropping out of games constantly over and over again. So unless 343 has plans to put ranking system playlists in which you cannot quit out of, or an arena type system where you can't quit out of again, I'm not sure that we will see an actual skill system in Halo Reach. You might just have the bare bones ranking system from corporal all the way up to inheritor. Next, let's go into the Spartan Ops. Now this actually sounds really cool, coming back over and over again to do these co-op like missions with your friends. That actually sounds like a lot of fun to me, and I really can't wait for that new feature. The thing that they said was seasons, there would be seasons of this Spartan Ops. That leaves room for DLC of multiple kinds of different seasons all the way up, more DLC, stuff like that. It opens the gate for that way, which could be cool if it's done right. It kind of makes up for the fact that there's no dedicated firefight mode, which does make me sad that there is no dedicated firefight mode. I mean, let's be honest, we didn't really play it that much in Halo Reach or Halo 3 ODST. We did play it. I did really enjoy it, but it wasn't the main focus of the game for me. And if I did want to play Firefight again, I would just go back into Halo Reach and Halo 3. So I think that that's their reasoning for dropping the Firefight mode and replacing it with this new Spartan Ops mode. Now, the pretext for why the red and blue Spartans are fighting on the UNSC Infinity, it works for me, but it has the possibility of becoming repetitive and boring after a while. Basically, it boils down to your preference. Would you rather have red and blue Spartans fighting for absolutely no reason whatsoever, like all the previous games, or would you rather have them fighting in a dreamland simulator like Halo 4? That's your call. That's the personal preference kind of choice there. Next, let's talk about armor abilities. A lot of stuff going on here. The sprint is now a default armor ability, so you'll have that no matter what. I can live with that. It's kind of a logical evolution from the last Halo game, so I can live with that definitely. A good blessing is no armor lock. Thank the Lord, no armor lock. That's a lot of fun. But is there a new armor lock? Forerunner vision coming up, X-ray vision, seeing through walls. Will that be the new armor lock? It's yet to be seen, but a little analysis I have on this is 343 is smart. They're obviously not going to make Forerunner vision completely broken. My vision for Forerunner vision is that it won't work for the entire map, and it'll only work on a very short-term scale. And you'll only be able to work on a short range scale as well. This will be mainly done to stop corner campers, see if a guy's just camping around that corner with a shotgun, a sword, or whatever. The reason this Forerunner vision doesn't really bother me too much is because when I play Halo Reach now, I'm thinking, if someone had X-ray vision, would that really affect this gameplay right now? Would that affect how I'm playing the game right now? And the answer to that question a lot of the times is actually no, because I don't really camp around corners with shotguns and small weapons and stuff like that. So that's what I encourage you guys to do. Play Halo Reach and think to yourself, if someone has Forerunner vision right now, would that affect the way I'm playing the game? For me, the way I play and my playstyle, a lot of times the answer is no. So that's why I'm not too worried about this Forerunner vision right now. So I'll have to wait and see how it completely plays, obviously. But for me, I'm tentative to say it's okay for now. Now, I have a big issue with the random weapon spawns. That's probably the only one issue that I have a big deal with, is because that it will probably alert players ahead of time. Like, it'll say rockets or weapons spawning in 30 seconds at this location, or it might not even say a location, but it doesn't really matter because this is already in Halo Reach. It's already in Invasion, Firefight, and game types like that. But in Invasion Slayer, it's very broken, and it really kind of ruins the game type of Invasion Slayer because either the players stay back and they let the other players go into the spawn to get the weapons, and then they use it as a trap to completely destroy them, and then once that carnage and grenade spawn spam has completely died down, then they go in and take the weapons, and that's completely overpowering until the next weapons show up. So that's why I don't like the random weapons spawning. I don't really think it's that fair, and it really might kind of backfire on the developers there. It lowers the skill gap and of the where and when things are going to spawn. That's the reason that they actually did this, is because they didn't want the veteran players overpowering newer players by knowing where the power weapons spawn, which is not a hard thing to learn at all. So I don't really understand their reasoning behind putting these random weapon spawns in. Another big deal is the no respawn times whatsoever. You just press X and then you get a respawn. This is probably and has to be only in Slayer games. If this was in objective games, that would completely ruin the game. Even games like Call of Duty have respawn times in objective game types. Obviously, this will speed up the game a lot, but it also adds less skill, because if you're fighting someone in a DMR duel and then they completely destroy you, but they have low shields, and you spawn instantly, you can just go to that spot and clean them up easily. That's the one thing I'm worried about, this no respawn delay. Other than that, it will speed up the game, which I do like speeding up the game, but I'm not sure if I like speeding up that much. Those are really the only main points I want to hit in this analysis I got going on here, guys. So, in conclusion, got a long conclusion here. Hopefully that there's still going to be Forge and custom game options, because if there is, then all these things don't really matter. If you don't like these things, you can just play custom games with vanilla-like Reach settings or Halo 3 settings. So hopefully 343 doesn't cut Forge mode like they did Firefight. Also, there are so many radical changes going on in Halo 4, it begs the question, why is there no beta? There are so many things to test, so many new things going on. Why are they not letting the community try this out and give them some real feedback, some first-hand feedback on this completely different Halo game? Now, the reason 343 Industries cite is because that they say they're testing it on their own, and that will slow the process of the game down a lot. Now, while it does slow down the process of the game a lot, testing it on your own isn't enough. Look at games like Battlefield 3 and Call of Duty. They test it on their own as much as 343 does on their own. Everyone has dedicated testers to do this testing on their own, but that's not enough. You never know how a game is going to act until millions of matches have been played on it. And you can analyze mass amounts of data and say, this is what we need to change, this is what we need to do. Until you have the game on that massive scale, you're never going to know how it plays when it reaches the public, no matter how much internal testing you do. That's been proven time and time again in this industry, and I'm sorry that 343 doesn't get that. Now, this begs the question, is there an ulterior motive to not letting a beta out? Possibly yes. If there was an ulterior motive, it would be because 343 knows this game is so different, they're afraid the community will hate it. They're afraid the community will outright reject the game by playing it in the beta, and sales will plummet like a rock. So the simple solution is no beta, no community plays it until the game actually gets released. Now, I'm not sure, that's a pretty cynical ulterior motive. I'm not sure if that's completely true, but if there ever was an ulterior motive to no beta, that would be it. That being said, I'm still excited for Halo 4 even through all these changes. I hope that you guys are too. Leave your thoughts and discussion in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.